Hello, everybody. As promised, we have the Jia De Guzman with us here on the game. Hey, Gia, how are you doing?
Hi, Boom. I'm doing good. Nilalamig dito sa Japan.
Nang inggit ka pa. Sige lang, mang-inggit ka pa. But we miss you. First of all, we miss you, not necessarily just miss seeing you play, but we miss you having around. And it's good to see you again. And we're happy to hear, or at least we're going to try to find out, that you're doing well there in Japan. Yes?
Yes, I'm learning a lot. I'm really happy I got this opportunity.
We're very happy for you, and we're obviously very proud of you with this opportunity. So let's talk about it right now. Tell me, what's it like being and considered a Filipino import in in the sport of volleyball?
It's something I dreamed of, but honestly, I never thought I would get this opportunity because I know how hard it is to be an import, but I know how much harder it would be to be an import setter because not a lot of countries recruit setters. They recruit more scorers or spikers like we do in the PVL. But even before I got this opportunity, I knew that being an import setter, coming into a new system would have a lot of challenges. I'm completely out of my comfort zone. And especially after years of being in Creamline, being in a team system I knew by heart. But coming here, I was really excited because there's so much to learn about volleyball, especially from the Japanese style of volleyball that's very well known for speed, defense, and great game analysis.
Right. Everybody talks about it, diba? You talk about it even as an analyst when we do the UAP. We get a little bit of taste of it when we see in some of these things incorporated in the game. But now you are really, deep into it. How different really is it? And how difficult is it when you're really into it, not only with your team, but playing against teams that practice the Japanese system?
I foresaw it naman coming here na one of the biggest challenges I would have is communicating with my teammates.
Yes.
So the language barrier is a huge challenge, most especially when it comes to my position, because I'm not saying it's hard, parang it's not hard also being a spiker import. I'm sure it comes with its own challenges, but being a setter, speaking from my own experience, it's not just a matter of delivering the sets to each spiker, which is a huge challenge in itself already because back in the Philippines, it would take a while, like a long time before I formed a really solid connection with any of my spikers. And that's with us understanding each other and speaking the same language. So when I moved here and I spoke zero Japanese, I had to fast track studying the sets of every spiker on the team without speaking the same language. So that was really hard for me. But like I mentioned, being a setter is more than just setting them up also. It's bridging defense to the offense, making transitions as fluid as possible since most of the balls have to pass through the setter. So communication is a huge part of it talaga. But, everyone knows volleyball is a universal language. So anywhere you go, it's the same techniques, it's the same strategy. So we were able to find our way around it. And I love the girls here. They're doing their best also to study English. Like I'm doing my best to study Japanese. So we found a way around it naman. Nakakapag-communicate kami ngayon.
So you're telling me that right now it's still an ongoing process, this whole bridging the gap and trying to figure out communicating so that it can translate into the game. From 0 to 10, where are you guys now when it comes to that, if you may put a number on it?
So I'm like 6 months in here in Japan. In terms of communicating, siguro nasa 5 na kami.
Okay, halfway.
Halfway. I can't speak in sentences, but I know the key words, especially when it comes to communicating inside the court. So higher, lower, faster, or where to position myself, and even counting numbers. Yun yung mga essential here. So sobrang, since day one, they really teach me that. para daw, even if no one is translating for me, I can, context clues ng onte.
Yes. So we're talking about volleyball language naman eh. So,
Yeah.
it's a completely different lingo. Okay. What is the most eye-opening part of this experience for you so far? Like something, wow, this is, you already had certain expectations about, this is going to be like this. And I'm not talking about the country. I'm just talking about from a volleyball standpoint. What has been the most eye-opening experience for you? If I may, parang, did you ever think this is a completely different sport and how they play it here? Is there anything like that?
Of course, like since day one, learnings have been coming every day, whether it's through skills or yung mga realizations ko for myself as a person, as an athlete. I think the number one I've learned talaga is there's really so much to learn about volleyball. Like I learned so much back in the Philippines from different players, teams, and coaches that I've experienced. And also playing in the national team and experiencing other countries in tournaments, but being immersed here in Japan for the past 6 months. Na every day, I go through the same things my teammates go through. Ang dami ko talagang natututunan from skills up to work ethic and how they live their days. So, I don't know, I'm sure it's really helping me grow as an athlete. So I'm really happy about it.
I was thinking about this early this morning when I said I was going to talk to you, and I wanted to ask something very personal in the sense that, when you're here in the Philippines and you win, you lose, you celebrate, you have euphoria, and then you have your heartbreaks, you have your family to come home to, you have your husband or your boyfriend back in the day to either talk about it or not talk about it, not like detoxify and all of that. But when you're in a country like this, you're the import at some point. I know Miguel is there right now, but at some point you were away from each other, no family. How do you deal with that now? Because other than playing the sport, I know the mental part, it's got to get to you. How do you stay sane in being an import right now?
Well, it's true. Like I've been away from home for quite a while, but yun nga, thankful ako for my support system, even though they're far away. Every day they make me feel how much they love me and support me. And you're right, Miguel is an amazing husband. He's been flying in and out whenever he can to support me and keep me company here because he knows I need it. And here in Japan, kasi isolation is such a big thing. So I feel like I'm on a silent retreat and I'm left to my thoughts a lot. So my family
which can
and my friends
be good and
back
can
home,
be bad, ano?
Yes. Like, of course, there are good days. There are also some not so good days that can be a little dangerous if you're left by yourself with your own thoughts. So, and my family knows that. So every day they really make an effort to reach out to me and see how I'm doing. Even my teammates back in Creamline and my friends back home, they really check up on me.
Right. Yeah, I really wanted to squeeze that in because obviously, as a colleague, as a friend, we want to know whether you're mentally, okay, and that everything else. I mean, you're playing the sport that you love, obviously, but it's a completely different experience being isolated in a country that has a lot of isolation stories, diba? So, medyo mabigat din yan. So, I'm happy to hear that. I'm sure your fans are going to be happy to hear that your support system is solid as ever. I know how that feels. I know how Miguel feels. So, I've been there and, flying in and out to see the wives. I understand that.
As an athlete, and me always talking about when you want to do something, you really know why you want to do something. So that really helped me here also because I'm not just doing this for myself. Like, dahil dream ko siya and I want to check it off my bucket list. I also feel like I was given an opportunity to pave the way for Philippine athletes also, just like Jaja got and just like the other imports got. So for me, as a setter also from the Philippines, I feel like, I have to make the most out of this opportunity because other aspiring athletes and setters from the Philippines can get this also if they just keep working hard and enjoy what they do. So that helps me dig deep, especially on the not so good days here.
Right. I love that you try to remember the why and you try to remember the bigger purpose of why you're doing this. And I'm sure it will be felt 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now by some other people aspiring to do what you're doing right now.
How much do we love Pinoy sports? With all our heart, all the time. Download Pilipinas Live now.